Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you read, you begin with
ABC.
Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to MsMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 fascinating facts about Julie Andrews.
Yay!
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Oh, let's see if I can make it easier.
That means we're taking a look at the most intriguing details about this multi-talented actress's career and life. All right, let's take a look. Number 10, her first professional role. Even from an early age, Julie Andrews was a certified show stealer. At 12 years old, Andrews made her professional stage debut at the London Hippodrome, where she performed in the musical revue Starlight Roof. Although impresario Val Parnell had his doubts about including such a young performer, a star was born in October of 1947. Singing Je suis from Mignon as the show's first act drew to its close, Andrews had the entire crowd going wild.
And it was like 4 or 5 octaves, and I could, dogs for miles around would howl when I went way up into the stratosphere.
F above high C?
F above high C was twice nightly in my debut, yeah.
As Andrews recalled, her song, quote, literally stopped the show. The press couldn't have been more ecstatic about her debut, with the stage writing, quote, Julie Andrews, the youthful prima donna, is fully entitled to her remarkable reception for some beautiful singing. Number 9, she's besties with Carol Burnett. Before these two ladies broke out into mainstream popularity, they made for a pitch-perfect odd couple in Julie and Carol at Carnegie Hall. This landmark television event was the first of 3 specials that Andrews and Burnett headlined together. One of the reasons Andrews and Burnett have a natural on-screen rapport is because they're such close friends in real life. Burnett is notably the godmother of Emma Walton Hamilton, Andrews' first child with ex-husband Tony Walton. Andrews and Burnett also shared a passionate kiss at President Lyndon B. Johnson's inaugural gala. This led some to speculate they may be more than just friends, although their smooch was part of a prank they were playing on Mike Nichols, who worked on their very first variety special.
Who is more mischievous, you or her?
Well, I have to say she brings out the worst in me. I get to be pretty raunchy and very wicked, and I think even she gets shocked sometimes.
Number 8, she's a Tony away from an EGOT. Believe it or not, a Tony is one of the few awards that isn't on Andrews' shelf. That being said, Andrews has accumulated an assortment of accolades throughout her esteemed career. For her work in Mary Poppins, Andrews won an Academy Award and her first Grammy.
That's as it should be.
She'd go on to receive another Grammy in 2011, as well as a Lifetime Achievement Award. Andrews is no stranger to the Primetime Emmys either, picking up 2 statuettes for the Julie Andrews Hour and Broadway, the American musical.
I was in awe of their work because, beginning with Oklahoma in the middle of the Second World War, they had pioneered a kind of show in which the story was more important than anything else.
As for Tonys, Andrews was nominated for her performances in My Fair Lady, Camelot, and Victor Victoria, but has never won. Of course, Andrews actually turned down her Victor Victoria nomination, feeling that the rest of the cast deserved more recognition. Number 7, her stepfather's influence. Andrews was born Julia Elizabeth Wells on October 1st, 1935. She started going by Julie Andrews, however, after her mother married her stepfather, Ted Andrews. Julie's relationship with her mother's second husband was complicated to say the least.
You grew up in a turbulent household of alcoholism, anger, uncertainty.
And despair on my mum's part and things
Depression.
like that. Yes.
In addition to being brought up in a poor household, Julie recalls her stepfather being a violent drunk, who, while inebriated, tried getting into bed with her on 2 occasions. This encouraged Julie to put a lock on her door. Yet Ted Andrews also took notice of his stepdaughter's singing talents and got her foot in the door with Val Parnell.
They discovered at about age 7 with me that I had this really freaky soprano voice.
Julie subsequently became the true breadwinner in her family, helping to bring up her younger siblings while missing out on much of her own childhood. Number 6, She adopted 2 daughters with Blake Edwards. Emma Walton Hamilton is Andrews' only biological daughter, but she adopted 2 more with her second husband, Blake Edwards, who already had 2 children from a previous marriage.
And then suddenly being aware of these 2 women, these 2 mothers in the shopping in the same area, going, isn't that sweet? That little girl thinks her mother is Mary Poppins.
5 years after tying the knot, Andrews and Edwards decided to adopt Amy Lee, a 2-month-old who'd been orphaned in Vietnam. About a year later, they adopted 5-month-old Joanna Lynn, another Vietnamese orphan in need of a home. The couple had wanted to have children together for a while, and with the Vietnam War reaching its final curtain, the 2 figured they should adopt while there was still time.
When you're put in a nursery with 100 other kids in an orphanage in Vietnam or in Saigon, as it was then, the noise factor at any given moment, day and night, must have been tremendous.
Once Joanna arrived in 1975, Andrews decided to take a brief break from performing to spend time with her family. Discussing her new children in 1977, Andrews said, quote, "It's been wonderful to watch 2 pale, sad-eyed creatures blossom." Number 5. She was a Disney World host.
If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme.
Walt Disney himself sadly passed away before the Walt Disney World Resort opened its gates. A cavalcade of talent did come together to promote the event, though, including Bob Hope, Rock Hudson, and Mary Poppins herself, Julie Andrews.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-doo-dah, day zip zip.
As part of a television event for the grand opening, Andrews performed classic Disney tunes like When You Wish Upon a Star, Zippity-Doo-Dah, and It's a Small World throughout the park. She also gave a quick shout-out to one of her defining songs, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Fittingly enough, Andrews' birthday is October 1st, which is the same day Walt Disney World opened in 1971. For Disneyland's 50th anniversary, Andrews was named the official ambassador for the happiest homecoming on Earth. Number 4. She almost turned down The Sound of Music. Having already played one musically inclined nanny, Andrews was initially reluctant to play Maria Von Trapp in The Sound of Music, especially since she wasn't that impressed with the stage version.
It worried me that putting it on film, it would be hugely saccharine. But everybody engaged in that film felt the same way about keeping it as astringent as possible.
Director Robert Wise, associate producer Saul Chaplin, and her agent Arthur Park fortunately motivated Andrews to accept, as Maria became one of her most iconic characters.
I can't seem to stop singing wherever I am. And what's worse, I can't seem to stop saying things. Everything and anything I think and feel.
Some people would call that honesty.
Andrews found herself in a similar position when she was given the chance to play Eglantine Price in Bedknobs and Broomsticks. By the time Andrews started coming around to the idea, though, Angela Lansbury had already been cast. Andrews was offered a cameo in Mary Poppins Returns, but declined as to not overshadow her successor, Emily Blunt. Although Andrews opted out, Lansbury did pop up to pass the balloon.
I think it must be yours.
Yes, I suppose it must.
Number 3. Her life-changing throat surgery.
The octave that I go at the end of the do, re, mi, and all of that. Would I like to do that? Yes.
Not long before Victor Victoria wrapped up on stage, Andrews was given no choice but to prematurely leave the show due to a vocal cord strain. In 1997, she checked into Mount Sinai Hospital to have her non-cancerous nodule surgically removed. Although she regained her speaking voice, the throat surgery tragically deprived Andrews of her ability to sing, and the musical world has never been the same since. She subsequently filed a malpractice suit against her doctors, who allegedly didn't specify the surgery's risks.
We had begun writing our stories together, Emma and I, and she said, "Mom, you've just found a different way of using your voice." And it was as if a great weight dropped from my shoulders.
Although her range was forever restricted, Andrews would publicly sing again for the first time in The Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement. The song in question was a duet with Raven-Symoné entitled Your Crowning Glory.
You'll know that that will be your crowning glory, your whole life.
crowning glory, the most glorious part of you.
Number 2. She was the original Eliza Doolittle.
Was that part written for you?
No, not really. It was created, of course, for Rex and obviously for me, but I think that it would have anybody did eventually play it. It's just that I was in it for a very, very long time.
Since Andrews originated the role of Eliza Doolittle on Broadway, you'd think she would have been the natural choice for the screen adaptation of My Fair Lady. Although the studio cast her Broadway co-star Rex Harrison, Andrews was denied the chance to reprise her role. Due to her lack of screen credits, Jack L. Warner felt that Andrews couldn't sell the picture, and he wasn't the first studio executive who deemed her, quote, unfilmable.
People on Broadway or around Broadway might know, but certainly people out in the middle of America and out here and didn't know me from Adam.
The role thus went to Audrey Hepburn, but her voice was dubbed by legendary ghost singer Marnie Nixon.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
By George, he's got it.
When the press learned of the dubbing, it sparked a backlash that arguably cost Hepburn an Oscar nomination. The same year the Academy snubbed Hepburn, the award season wins ironically blew in Andrews' favor. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Getting discovered by Walt Disney. While Warner felt that Andrews wasn't a bankable star, Walt Disney knew that she was practically perfect to play Mary Poppins after seeing her in Camelot. Andrews was hesitant when Disney approached her, since she was 3 months pregnant at the time. But Walt knew she was worth waiting for.
And I said, oh, Mr. Disney, I'd be thrilled. I'd never made a movie. And he was so sweet and charming and twinkly and lovely. I said, but I can't, I'm pregnant. And he said, oh, that's okay, we'll wait.
Andrews' feature film debut won her a Golden Globe, beating out her friend Hepburn. During her acceptance speech, Andrews cheekily thanked Jack Warner for passing on her.
Finally, my thanks to a man who made a wonderful movie and who made all this possible in the first place, Mr. Jack Warner.
Andrews, of course, went on to win the Best Actress Oscar, although she initially feared it was a pity victory brought on by the My Fair Lady controversy. She kept her Oscar in the attic for years as a result. Now, however, it's the centerpiece of her office.
As I expected, Mary Poppins practically perfect in every way.
She really is practically perfect in every way, you guys. Do you have a favorite Julie Andrews moment? Because I think I do. Mine is probably at the end of Do Re Mi, where she's like got her hand on her head and she's pointing because she has to hit the high note. I love that. Anyway, let us know in the comments or come tell me on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton. Be sure to like and subscribe and, of course, watch this other video.